All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Fuel Your Freedom podcast. Here we are for episode 3, and oh my gosh, do I have the episode for you. So, this might be a shorter one. I might get caught up and go for just a while, but we shall see how it all plans out. But this week, we're talking about a mindset switch that could literally change your entire journey. And it truly is that powerful. No, I am not exaggerating. We're talking about the all or nothing mindset and embracing the gray space that is the middle, right? So before we even hop into the gray space and the power of living there, let's define the all or nothing mindset. So this all or nothing thinking, or logical fallacy, if you will, refers to using absolute terms like always, never, perfect, failure. It's essentially the thinking of we're either at 100% or we're 0%. There is nothing in the middle, right? And with a health and fitness journey, any lifestyle change, anything like that, it can come up all the time, right? I cannot even overestimate how many times this has come up as I've worked with members and clients on their specific journeys. So to use a nutrition example, right? We stay on track all day. We quote unquote perfectly follow our diet, right? Every meal is tracked. Everything is portioned out and controlled. We don't deviate one time. But nighttime rolls around and you indulge in a cookie for dessert. Just one, nothing crazy. But then in your mind, that entire day becomes a catastrophic failure. You weren't perfect, so you were a failure, right? You forget about the prep meals, the veggies, the lean proteins you ate the rest of the day. And all you think about when you look back on that day is the cookie. Another example. Say you start the day strong, right? Breakfast is prepped, we're good, we're out the door, moving right along, all is well. But by lunch you indulge in a treat from the break room or raid the snack cabinet at home. Mid-afternoon rolls around, and since you already ruined your day, quote unquote, at lunch, you might as well keep it going, right? Same goes for dinner. Gone are the prep meals and pre-planning. It's not going to be perfect, so you might as well just make it terrible, right? That is all or nothing thinking. It's a cliche example, but it's kind of like the same thing where if one tire pops on your car, you just go around and pop every other one of them, right? We don't want to do that. We can get by. Everyone has usually a spare tire in their car, but no one usually carries 4. So this is all or nothing thinking at the finest. This is what we want to avoid. We want to avoid the feelings of needing to be perfect, or if you're not perfect, you're a failure, right? Think of it like a race car. It's full speed ahead or it's full stop. There is no in between. There is no coasting. There is no gliding. This leads to a stop and go progress, right? So you might make a bunch of progress in a short amount of time, right? If you are very successful, if you are in a calorie deficit, if you are training hard, you will see success regardless of your goals, but especially if that goal is fat loss, right? You will see weight loss. Perhaps I shouldn't say fat loss because some muscle might come along with that if it is truly that drastic. But at the end of the day, it's unsustainable. We quote unquote fall off the wagon, if you will. Go and stop. Go and stop. We never see true lasting progress because we're not moving anywhere substantial. As opposed to if we coast, we may get there a little bit slower, but we're still going to get there. We're still going to make more progress. It's like the story about the tortoise and the hare, right? Slow and steady wins the race. And this is true for any fitness journey. As tempting as it can be to go full speed ahead and race into the new journey, we have to set aside our desire for instant gratification and embrace the journey. I've talked about instant gratification before, right? I've posted about it. I've talked about it. It's super prevalent in our lives today. Everybody wants the next thing right now, if not yesterday. But health and fitness, we have to let this go. We have to take away that need and that desire for instant gratification and truly slow it down. Embrace the journey that is whatever your journey may be, but embrace the journey that is health, fitness, strength training, nutrition, etc. The easiest way to start recognizing this type of all or nothing thinking is to listen to the types of words we use as we're speaking about the health and fitness journey. Words such as always, never, everything, can't or cannot, totally, everyone, ruined, no one, anymore, and nothing can start to become the beacons that we should take note of, right? So those indicate those all, right? Everyone or nothing, no one types of thinkings. As we recognize them, we can take steps to find the gray areas. What does the gray area look like for you? How is it different from the black or the white? Often we avoid the middle because it's not perfect, especially if you're a person who thrives on order, rules, structure, discipline, schedules, routines. I could go on and on. Anyone else a fellow type A personality out there, right? That's me. I'm raising my own hand right now. But the middle, the messy middle, if you will, doesn't sound as extreme or hardcore as if we're following a restrictive diet, 7-day per week training program, or having a quote unquote sleep when you're dead mentality, right? But we need to normalize living with the imperfection, living with the messiness. Normalize making mistakes and moving forward anyway. Finding the small wins instead of trying to conquer the mountain in the day, right? So what does this gray space look like for you? This is going to be individual to everybody. It's not one that can be the same. It's not something that I can tell you exactly what it'll look like or how it'll feel when you get there. But there are a few common situations that you may find yourself in. So I split our fitness journey, if you will, into 4 main pillars. And we're going to think about ways that living in the gray area can show up and benefit us in those moments. So we have fitness, nutrition, mindset, and recovery. So throughout those 4 pillars, I'm going to go through and break down some super common examples here. And if you notice any, and it's safe to do so, and you're not driving in a car, etc., jot it down, right? Make a note of where and what sounds familiar and where it shows up in your journey. That'll help you when we get to our actions for this week. So let's hop right in with fitness. Let's look at, if we're talking about the grays in the middle, let's define white as the all and black as the nothing, okay? So white is everything. So in fitness, our white space might look like working out every day or multiple times per day, the no excuses, gotta get it done, long and intense training sessions every single time we step into the gym, and the no pain, no gain mentality, right? That's all. That's all. It's too much. It's heavy. It's a lot. The nothing is, you don't have to work out. High intensity is always bad. Daily movement means you're fitness and gym obsessed, right? So it's the complete opposite. Whereas finding that gray area may look like training 3 to 4 days per week, depending on your schedule. Moving throughout the day, even if it's just for 5 to 10 minutes, just to move, just because the body loves movement. Taking scheduled deload and rest weeks, and not feeling guilty for dialing back on your training so your body is able to recover. Adding in some higher intensity workouts, not exercises, but also exercises, paired with lower intensity recovery and training and regeneration training days, right? So it's that good mix. It's that balance. It's that messy middle. It might even mean missing a workout because family obligations got in the way, or because, hey, I needed this minute, but I'm going to move my workout till tomorrow. There is no structure. There's a little structure, but there's no perfect structure, right? Let's move on to nutrition. So our white, our all, you have to be on a diet. Having multiple rules around food, what you eat, when you eat, how you eat, never eating out, never going over your calories or under your calories. You're hitting exactly onto those marks. Tracking every single morsel and bite of food that you put in your mouth. Following a strict and or restrictive food plan. So a lot of those can include cutting out groups of food, etc. Now, caveat here, sometimes we do have to dial in and get a little bit closer to some of these all mentality thinking. If you have a big competition, if you're competing, if you're going to race, right, we're going to want to dial in. We're going to want to make sure we don't miss a training session. Our food is on point. So there are periods in our lives that we will go through this. But for the vast majority of our lives and the vast majority of people's training journeys, we don't need this all or nothing. We can find progress. We can find success and sustainability within the gray area. That's the power of living there, of thinking there, flipping and erasing some of that stress that comes with living in the all or nothing. So back to nutrition here, our black or our nothing. What you eat doesn't matter. Eliminating foods for health purposes is obsessive. Wanting to change your body means that you don't love yourself. Eating everything and anything in sight with zero regard to how it makes you feel, right? So that's our nothing. Not really paying attention. And our gray. Recognizing the foods that fuel your body and those that, as I like to say, fuel your soul, right? So this is going to be that 80%, that 20% that I talk about. 80% high nutrient density, good foods that fuel your body. And that 20%, maybe a little bit lower nutrient density, but still good foods that you just enjoy and you truly, truly love. Means incorporating a mix of all foods you enjoy into your diet and enjoying treats without guilt or without shame. Nutrition is one of those places that the all or nothing mindset truly does show up a lot. We like to create rules around food, and finding ways to find that middle ground, find that gray area in nutrition can be incredibly powerful in making progress towards our fitness goal or our end goal. So moving on to mindset, I think this is all about mindset, right? If you haven't gotten that, this all or nothing thinking is a mindset flip. But what about in mindset practice, right? So our white or our all. You can only meditate for long lengths of time, say an hour, and anything less is useless. Believing that you have to invest dollars endlessly into the latest technology for apps, guides, classes, tech tools, who knows what, right? To be successful in mindfulness practice. The black or nothing. I can't meditate. I'm not good at meditating. And then having a fixed mindset. So believing that nothing can change. This is actually present in a lot of the nothing examples I used kind of throughout fitness and nutrition and will use in recovery in just a minute. But that fixed mindset is the belief that nothing, no matter how hard you work, can change, right? This simply isn't true. And moving towards more of a growth mindset, meaning things can change, we simply have to work at them, can be extremely powerful. I know I have a post on this, I think on Facebook and Instagram, but I'm sure that I will do a podcast on it in the future. It's another super powerful flip of the switch, if you will, that when we believe we are capable of growing and changing, we can truly make greater progress as opposed to feeling like we're always stuck in the middle or stuck where we are and we're not able to move. So back to our gray area for our mindset. I've had a busy day and only have time for a few deep breaths during stressful times, so that's what I'm going to commit to doing. Even if it's for 5 minutes while I enjoy my coffee, I'm going to sit in silence and simply breathe. And finally, fostering a growth mindset and recognizing that even small, incremental changes are progress. That's a big one right there. Moving on to recovery. Our white or all. Expensive recovery tools only, spending hours per day on soft tissue work, mobility, and stability, often to the point of diminishing returns, right? There is a point of diminishing returns. While foam rolling and stretching and mobility and stability feels amazing in the moment, we can do too much. It is possible to continue to push and push and push until we simply are at that point where we just need to let that body rest and recover on its own. Our black or nothing. Zero focus on even the bare minimum, sleep. The thought of, I can't sleep well, so I may as well not even try to fix it. Sleep is magic, you guys. Absolutely magic. If you aren't sleeping well, I encourage you to dive in and focus on, perhaps you can't control the quality or quantity, how much you sleep, but try and Perhaps you can't control the quantity, right? Disturbances wake you up if you're going through hormonal changes, things like that. The quantity, there we go, amount of sleep may be tough to exactly control, but we can focus on the quality, okay? And this kind of moves into our gray area for recovery here, especially focusing on sleep, but focusing on what we can control. So as we fix the quality of our sleep, maybe establishing a nighttime routine, working on exposure to blue light and screens late in the day, our light that's in the room, making sure the room is cold and quiet and dark, right? That can then help with our recovery. So that living in the middle with our recovery is finding the space to control what we can, adding in small moments similar to the mindfulness, adding in small moments of recovery, and making sure we're focusing on what we can control there. So those are just some ways that the all or nothing mentality can show up and how we can move towards that gray area and truly live the most of our fitness journey within that area. Like I said, there will be times where we may have to turn up the dial and shift towards that all mentality, tuning in things, making them a little bit more dialed in, not letting as many things go, right? But those should be for short periods, and we should always work to find our way back to that gray area, that truly, truly powerful area where, yes, it's not perfect, but being okay with that imperfection and recognizing that that's where you need to be in that moment to both make progress in a fitness journey as well as live a life that isn't controlled by the fitness journey. Now, each episode, I give you guys an action step, right? And I've been trying to come up with a name, and I think I found one. You'll have to let me know what you think. But how do we feel about empowered action, right? Obviously, there's a play on my name there, but empowered. I want you to feel empowered to take this information and run with it. So for your empowered action, I want you to think about, do any of these examples sound familiar? Like I told you at the beginning, if you are driving or in a car, perhaps taking time later today and sitting down, looking at areas where you've recognized all or nothing thinking, right? Writing them down, physically writing them down, like on a piece of paper, or maybe even jotting them in your phone as a note. But taking note of all or nothing words that creep into your everyday life or in your health and fitness journey. So this can be in or out of the fitness journey. But keep that post-it note or make a note in your phone. As you note them, think about how you can move that thought to a gray area. What would living in that gray area look like in that specific situation? Make a note of that. If it is a situation where you do have to be in the white area, this will be good to come back to as you move out of that more restrictive period. Trying to reframe that thought in the moment next time you have a similar one. Just taking time to think can truly help us recognize both all or nothing thinking and how that gray area may look like for you. Because like I said, it will be different for every single person. The gray area won't look the same. It's not the same for everyone. And I think that's the beauty of the fitness journey, right? I've said it before, your fitness journey is not like your friends, families, coworkers, etc. It's your own. And that gray area is what makes it your own. Some people might have a little bit different looking gray area. It might be a different shade, but there's countless shades out there. Finding the one that works for you in your fitness journey is truly, truly one of the most powerful things you can do. So that's all I have for this week. As always, thank you so much for listening, downloading, etc. If you truly enjoy this podcast, please leave it a rating and review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcast. And if you know a friend, family member, coworker, or someone else who would benefit from listening, please share this episode with them too. It truly helps the podcast grow and lets me talk to more people. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day whenever you're listening to this, and I will catch you next week. Bye, everybody.